Hey everyone, we are a bit shaken up right now, but we wanted to make this extremely spontaneous message letting you know what just happened, and really driving, it's really settling in at a very deep level that there are no coincidences. So we had breakfast this morning here in San Jose, Costa Rica, and on our way back we were just driving on the street, and there was this guy that didn't look to his left before crossing the street.
He was literally walking through the street kind of like blindsided.
Like a zombie.
Yeah.
And so our car hit him, but it was completely his fault. So I rolled down the window and I said, "What are you doing?" And his initial response was to get angry and say, basically his response was, "I'm going through such a hard time. Fuck, I don't need this." Like, that's what he said.
Yeah.
So anyway, Siman literally parked the car right there, and he was hit. Like, where did it hit him?
It hit him on the wrist and on his leg.
Like, he was hit hard by
It wasn't
our
like
car.
a full-on collision with him, but it kind of like our car scraped him from the side.
And he was thrown off on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
Like, it was painful. So instantly Siman went up to him. He didn't even, like, he just left the car right there. There was a traffic jam at the back. I moved the car to the side. So Siman went to him, and this guy was very like reluctant to let Siman approach him, but Siman went right up to him, and
I went right up to him. I held his hand, and I could instantly feel a very like positive person. And I told him I'm a shaman, I'm a healer, and he instantly like snapped out of his like shock, and he looked at me in my eyes. He's like, "Really?" And he believes in energy healing apparently, and he just melted. He just allowed me to hold his hand, and I started giving him energy healing. I was talking to him, and I'm like, "Where does it hurt the most?" He told me it's his wrist. I started draining the pain out of his hand, and I'm like, "Are you feeling better?" He's like, "I'm feeling better." He was like amazed, like this doesn't happen every day. And then
he had the look of amusement.
I said, "What happened, my friend? Why are you walking in such a daze?" He said, my business partner, I used to own a tattoo shop with a business partner, and he was laundering money, and he just ran away with all the money and left me to deal with the police. The police threw me and my wife in jail. He's looks like a Spanish guy, but he spoke English very well. And he said we were supposed to go back to the States today, me and my wife, but we're still doing circles in court. They have our passports. And I was literally, he's like, "I'm down in my luck. I've never been in such a low point in my life before."
His wife was pregnant, he said, right?
Yeah, he said my unborn child also thanks you in the end. So he said, I was literally going somewhere to ask for money to eat because I have nothing right now. And I said, after I fixed the pain in his wrist, I said, "Where else does it hurt?" He said, "In my heart." And I said, "That's your emotional pain, right?" He said, "Yes." I said, "God wants you to know that this is not a coincidence. You are not alone. I came into your life to share this message for you, that whatever you want, whatever you need in life, I can see in your eyes what an honest, good-hearted person you are." And he was just looking at my eyes in amazement and shock. He just was like, "This is unreal. I've never experienced anything like this." And then I put my hand on his heart. He was fully open to me like a brother. Put my hand on his heart, and I asked the archangels to help release all of his suffering, his sorrow, his tension, and ease all his sufferings. And I said many prayers for him. Then I said, you just wait here, I'll give you something. I went to the car, told Eldora what happened, and she instantly recognized as well that
I recognized the purity of his soul. I could see the intention, even though initially when I rolled my window down and I said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I fucking," like, even though he spoke aggressively, I could see that he's speaking out of his pain, and he kept saying, "I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry."
Yeah.
Like, I could see the purity of his soul right away.
Yeah. And we gave him some money. We gave him like the equivalent of, how much did we give him?
About 700 US.
Yeah, and he was in shock when I told him that this is not a coincidence. There are no accidents, and God wants you to know that you're not alone. I'm your brother. And I hugged him. He started bawling when I hugged him.
Yeah.
And then Eldora came out of the car and she hugged him. She's like, "That was from your brother and this is from your sister." And she gave him more money in his hand. and she hugged him, and he was like, my wife and my unborn child, thank you guys.
And he literally said, if I don't know how my wife is going to believe this, that I was crossing the street, a car hit me, and now all of a sudden I have money to eat, I have money for my wife to eat. He says I can actually afford to take a cab now, and he ran across the street, and I'm like, whoa, like careful. What did you give him on that piece of paper?
I just gave him our YouTube channel so he can continue to receive messages.
That's
and
good you did that.
Prosper in his life.
And he ran across and he's like, I can afford a cab, I can take a cab to my wife. So he's going through like a mess because of this police case and everything.
He
and
looked like a very honest, very kind-hearted young guy. He was like in his 25s or something. He was a very young, handsome fellow.
He kept saying, I was supposed to go to the US today, and because of all this, I think they're held by the police.
So there's a lot of injustice happening in the world right now, and that's coming up, that we're all here for each other. We're all here to support each other. We're forming a network of light workers, and whenever you meet someone in need, even though you don't know them, just do whatever you can, even if it's a hug, even if it's a smile. We all have to stick together and create this cohesive community where we're all bonded in our heart connections, and nobody's left behind, nobody's alone. We're all going to get through this together. It's a hard time on planet Earth, but just remember that you are not alone. Even if you feel physically alone, God and your angels are constantly surrounding you, and they want you to communicate with them. That's what I told him. I'm constantly getting the message from God, whatever God you believe in, whatever source you believe in, that you need to talk to him. You need to set intentions for your life. You need to ask for what you want to receive.
And he kept saying, I don't believe this. And you know, guys, this is also such an important, it's just living proof that God has our back. God has our back. We don't know in what way these blessings come to us, but when we are in need and we ask, dear source, dear prime creator, when we genuinely ask, magic can happen. This guy thought it was an accident. He was in so much pain, but it just opened up a gateway to something else.
He just needed to receive the love from another human, because he has I could tell he has no one else he can count on right now. And he just, when I hugged him like a brother, when Eldora hugged him like a brother, he was just bawling. That's what he needed more than the money. That's the kind of heart he has. He's just looking for someone to show him appreciation, show him some support, and God sent us to reassure him that he's not alone.
This just happened 5 minutes ago.
Literally, like we haven't even processed it yet.
Take care, guys.